everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, our weekly podcast hosted by Natalie McFarland, me, and founder and president of McFarland Productions, and Scout Foster, our outreach marketing manager. In these episodes, you can expect deleted scenes, in-depth campaign reviews, project highlights, marketing concepts, book reviews, and a deep dive into the creative process at Off Your Rocker Films, and of course, invaluable lessons on mentorship, leadership, and the business of it all. We are so excited to be releasing our episodes every Sunday as your soft launch to Monday. Hey everybody, welcome to McFarland Minutes, your soft launch to Monday. We are very excited to have one of our very good friends, Callie Adams, on with us today, the director of events at Montana Silversmiths for dang near 20 years. I can't believe it's been 20 years that you've been at Montana. You're a face out there. You know, I feel like you're everywhere. I admire your work more than you know. I feel like you're a champion. There's just no other way to describe it than you're a champion. Callie, can you tell us your story of how you ended up at Montana Silversmiths and just about Callie?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks, Natalie, for having me. And I'm just grateful to be having this conversation together because we do go way back and in this industry, and your friends become your family, and we have to do this together and stick together. So it's fun to be able to share my story with you and learn a little bit more about our work together and as we continue on this crazy journey in the Western lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Callie, how did you, I know you rodeoed in Montana prior to ending up at Montana Silversmiths. Can you tell me kind of a little bit about how you ended up in the Western world and then how you ended up at Montana Silversmiths?
Yes, so I grew up in Western Montana outside of Missoula, and my dad's an outfitter, so a big game outfitter. So we grew up being stewards of the land and taking care of our horses and animals and everything that you have to do as a family to make a hunting operation work. And then in the summers, doing dude ranch rides. So taking care of our horses and of course making sure that the clients have the best experience when they take a piece of Montana home with them from their summer vacation. So really learning the hospitality industry, tourism, marketing of course, and business. It just ties into every aspect of life, it seems. So growing up that way, I'm very thankful for that and instilling a lot of hard work and values. And then fast forward into high school in Missoula, 4-H and FFA, and a lot of involvement into actually competed in a couple of different local rodeo queen pageants. So Miss Rodeo Western Montana, and then going on to college and was Miss Dillon JC and college rodeoed on the team there. And then was also captain of the IHSA horse show equestrian team. So very busy, and then tried to hold down a couple of jobs too to pay for all my hobbies.
This
So,
is why we get along so much. I think we had like
oh
a
my gosh,
very similar schedule in high school.
yeah. No, you just have to try everything and do everything, and you're so energetic at that point in your life that you're like, "Yep, I'll take that on, and I can handle this." And you meet so many people and become involved, and I think that's part of the whole high school, college experience and learning and growing. I loved it. I would go back.
Yeah, for
It was
sure.
fantastic. Yeah,
So you
get a little.
met Judy Wagner, but way before Montana Silversmiths became into your picture, right? Can you
Yeah,
talk about that and then like how that ends up tying into being part of Montana?
yeah. It's kind of a funny story. I don't think that she would mind me telling on her and her family. But I met Judy actually through Tiffany because Tiff and I went to college together. We actually were in the same math tutoring program because we were struggling with some like advanced algebra or whatever it was. And so we got to know each other there, of course, through college rodeo. And then that was my first introduction to Judy because she emceed our banquet, our rodeo banquet. And then I lived next door in like a fourplex to Casey, which is now Judy's daughter-in-law. And I remember coming outside and seeing a pair of like size 11 cowboy boots outside Casey's door. And I was like, who in the world is over in her house? And I got
Ross?
to it was Ross. Fast forward, they get married, and now they've been married, gosh, 13 or so years now. So then that was my second introduction. I was just surrounded by Judy Wagner. No matter what I did, turned around and there she was. And I'm so grateful that now, 20 plus years later, we're neighbors. She lives right down the road from me. So we take care of her horses when she's traveling, and she'll pop over here and help us with things. And we ride at her arena, and it's just amazing. She's fabulous, but long history together.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you end up how did knowing Judy and being a Montana native, how did those things play into you ending up at Montana Silversmiths?
So We started, our relationship during those college days, and then on and off, being in and out of each other's lives, and having Judy being very involved in Miss Rodeo Montana pageant through sponsorship with Silversmiths at the time. And then Angie Huckey now, she was working at Montana Silversmiths, and they needed help for NFR just to come and work the booth. And so Judy's like, hey, I know a gal. So we connected, and they hired me to come out to NFR at Cowboy Christmas to work the booth. I'd never been to Vegas. I had not been to NFR at that point. I fly into Vegas at night, which is like an experience in
Now
itself, the
you know
flashing.
now you know Vegas better than a local, I think.
Oh yeah, now I can like navigate, with my eyes closed. So that was just like the coolest experience coming in and having Judy, kind of guide me through the process, work that booth the 10 days. Fast forward, Angie gets married, has babies, decides to move on from Silversmiths. The position comes open, and then I interview with Judy, and she hired me there, and so the rest is history.
Awesome. So you've been basically in this event direction position, the director of events position, pretty much the whole time. I know your title's probably changed over time.
Yeah, a little bit. And I would say I started when Judy hired me, I was a marketing intern, so to
Hmm.
speak. And so I worked more kind of as her right-hand gal. And then it evolved more into the event and sales. And so then through Steve Miller, Steve actually then hired me as a promotion into the events department.
Oh, cool.
And so I worked with Judy initially, and then with Steve, and then back with Judy when Steve retired. So it all kind
Yeah.
of comes full circle. And I loved marketing. I'm still in marketing. Events space still lives in that overarching department. But I love what I'm doing in events. And, having a team to grow and handle our PRCA partnerships, AQHA, PBR, NRHA, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, John Deere, our licenses with 4-H and FFA. And there's just so many partners that we get to interface with and help them create beautiful things.
Yeah, you have such a relation. Like, you walk anywhere. We make this joke about Judy all the time, right? But the joke is still true about you too. Like, we can't get anywhere with Callie Adams, anywhere at any event, without her being stopped 50 times. And I love that about you. And about Judy, and your ability to create relationships with those partners is, I'm sure, very key to, one, the success of your job, but two, personally fulfilling when you're on the road, and at least you're on the road with your friends, sort of. Can you talk some about like all the places that Montana Silversmith shows up in person, mostly via you? And I know that, Ivy goes on the road. You've got a great team of gals that are working on the road, Haley too. But can you talk about why showing up in person is important and what that has done for you in your career and for Montana Silversmiths?
That's so awesome, Natalie, just for the fact that, AI and everything that we can be replaceable at any moment, but you can't replace that personal connection and the relationship that you have with your customers and also fellow sponsors. I find that when we travel, and I'm about an event or two a month, so I'm on the road frequently, and you see the same folks and faces, day in and day out, and you really become invested in their lives and their projects and their well-being and in the company's best interest. So those sponsors, fellow sponsors, like with Pendleton Whiskey and even with Ram or Boot Barn, or Coors and Justin Boots, all those folks that are in the same industry that we see each other all the time, and you can't help but be friends and bounce ideas off of each other and talk about, different projects or campaigns or whatever you might be working on or the issues you face together, because we're not in this alone.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we have to navigate when we've all have bigger ideas and we can be better together? So, and then with our customers, we see them a couple times a year. It's so important for them, and they feel so honored and special to be able to have Montana come to their event.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's, the Bozeman Stampede or the NFR. And we treat all of our customers the same. We're invested in their projects the same. We want to see them be successful and give them the tools. Why it's important for Montana Silversmiths is whether it's cast buckles that are sold at the souvenir stand or for your champion buckles, or you're awarding your Grand Marshal a buckle in the parade. All of those pieces of recognition and anniversaries and celebrating what matters is what we say. That all makes a huge difference. And we care. Like, we genuinely want to be there to have that experience. And then, maybe elevate them in a way that we can help. Why are buckles important? What award should I give here? Talk to me about spurs, or honoring a committee woman with a special bracelet, or breast cancer awareness. I mean, there's so many programs
Mm-hmm.
that we can tied to PRCA rodeos, and all of our other partners as well, that really make it come full circle. And it's not just like a vendor relationship or a sponsor. Like, we are a partner and we're fully invested in that program. And since, I mean, I have been doing it for 20 years, kind of a lifer, it's just, that's so neat to see those new rodeos come up, and the older ones help the new ones, and just be part of that kind of camaraderie is really amazing. There's nothing like it. I love
Yeah,
it.
I mean, there's nothing stopping Montana from like just being a vendor, right? Like, people could call, order a buckle, and that could be the end of the relationship effectively, right? But I think what's so cool about your particular position is that you're able to develop those relationships, like you're saying, but you really kind of bring them in, and they're sort of a part of the brand, right? They're a part of Montana's story. They have a real relationship with you guys. That's the kind of stuff that's not replicatable, across the board. That's not something that some other buckle manufacturer could just start up tomorrow and then all of a sudden be taking, space in the industry. It's not going to happen when somebody feels part of a brand, which is so much what I appreciate about what Montana does in the event space is you guys showing up. That's a big deal, no matter how big the rodeo is, all the way from the NFR, Pendleton Roundup, any of those, from you guys being on site there, all the way down to especially your local rodeos, where you're able to be a partner and really bring them in as part of the brand. There's nothing to me that speaks more to the character of Montana Silversmiths as a company than the fact that you invest your time showing up at these places, creating real relationships, and helping lift the entire industry. I think that's a big deal.
And I always say, and like a broken record, that we are not the cheapest, we are not the fastest, but we are the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you know, and not to get into a whole discussion about different competitors, but steel sharpens steel, and we all have to rise to the occasion, and just know that with as much competition as there is out there, and the makers, and how unique the buckle space and manufacturing really is, to be able to have a team of 170 folks in Columbus, Montana, building products for you, that I can walk down the hall and check on an order, or I can ask Joe how it's going with the engraving, or Jeff how the stone setting is doing. Like, that's just really something special and personal that we take, personally, and it's really important to us. And so, while there might be a lot of noise out there, just know that you can call us at any time. And my
Mm-hmm.
entire, so you can pick up the phone, you can message us. It happens all the time. People check through Instagram. How's my order looking? I like this artwork. Can you start this project for me? We are available 24/7, right, wrong, or indifferent, but that's what makes us special.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and we're going to continue to do that. That's
Mm-hmm.
my mission, is to perpetuate those values. And the other thing I want to say about that too is, Judy always says there's an S on the end of Silversmiths for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of us, and not just that work in the manufacturing facility, and our marketing team, and our e-commerce group, and all of our sales reps, but I get to take my family for the most part. If we have local events, like tonight, is Billings Stampede, or Billings Stampede, Billings Rodeo Billings. So we get to go this weekend, and I get to take my son, and I get to take my husband, and we get to go together. And also, we hire my husband for the NFR. So we drive the 325 buckles down there, plus all of our booth supplies, in the trailer. So
Mm-hmm.
I can really make it a family affair, and then it becomes even more special. And then those rodeo committees we have relationships with will then reach out. Hey, how's your son doing? I saw he was in 4-H and sold his lamb. How are things looking?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just really amazing that it's a family affair, and you know we all get to do it together.
Yeah, and so cool that, your family gets the opportunity to kind of be behind the scenes with you sometimes. I've seen I've seen your so cool son behind the buckle ceremony each night, backstage, and just his eyeballs, are big, and he's just like a little teeny tiny professional cowboy, right? He's already one of those guys, and it's so fun to see him interact with them back there, and just get to be part of it. And I love that, your guys' families get to go. I've seen Marshall take his family as well. And of course, Judy brought her family along, and I just love that that's a part of the culture at Montana. I think, again, it just speaks to that Montana Silversmiths, with an S, are real people, right? You guys are real people with real families and real lives, and really care about this industry. And I think that that's not seen in every large company, out there.
That's true. And with us celebrating, we're going on 52 years in business. I mean, that's crazy to
It's a
think
huge
of
achievement.
in a little company. I mean, mid-sized business in Montana.
Hmm.
So we've really built something truly amazing, and our culture, to your point, and all of our employees really believe in it and are so passionate. And we, in fact, give tours to, now of course I'm going to have my phone ringing off the hook, but
Not sorry.
yeah, full disclosure, you do have to schedule one, but we love having people come in and showing them how things are made
Hmm.
and walking them through, introducing them to, Diane, who does the engraving, and she can talk about the process. I mean, it's just a really neat way of showcasing what we do to the world.
Hmm. Yeah. You guys, I love those tours. And I think one of my favorite parts of the tour, and this is probably not what you would typically expect somebody to answer, but I think my favorite part of the tour is actually walking through the administrative offices and where the crown molding is all of your brands. I think that is
Mhm.
just such a cool thing that, one, you externally are involving your partners in your brand, but you also do it internally too. Like, how much pride is there, one, in your brand at all, right? But then having your brand in as a permanent piece of the building is such a cool thing. And anyway, I just think that you guys have an incredible culture from that perspective, and being able to do that outwardly through your position and inwardly through the whole team. I think that's pretty cool. So this particular episode comes out the last weekend. This is the last Sunday of the 2025 PRCA season. Callie, we're recording this a little bit in advance of that, but can you talk about this year's PRCA season for Callie and what were some of the highlights?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, I'm so focused on NFR planning right now, and we are in it. And those buckles do take us about 9 months. It's just like having a baby, and then you start over every year. You have to develop and cultivate and guide, and then finally they leave the nest. And we do call the world champion gold buckles the babies.
Mm-hmm.
And we hand carry them with white gloves because they are so precious to us and of course to PRCA. So right now we're in the process of finishing all of the building of those buckles, setting the diamonds, engraving the karat gold, engraving the back, and then of course packaging them, and they have special etched display boxes, and we take great pride in that. But not only the world championship gold NFR buckles, I think most folks don't really get to see the several hundred other buckles that we produce
Mm-hmm.
with the go round buckles. There's 120, 130 of those, counting the top stock buckles that we award every night at South Point. And then we have the year end buckles, for Clown of the Year, Announcer of the Year, Bullfighter of the Year, etc. We have season leader buckles. You come in first through 15th in your event, you get a buckle. We also have, which is awarded on the first night there for the back number ceremony. And then the Resist All rookie buckles. I mean, there's so much that goes
Mm-hmm.
into NFR that's beyond the champions that is really rewarding to see throughout the first few nights, through the Hall of Fame banquets, the Gold Buckle Gala. The award ceremony is my favorite night. It's just like the Academy Awards of the NFR, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just really our Super Bowl. And that's what's so rewarding to me, is building the whole year up to NFR. And as far as the PRCA season, you mentioned earlier, like, I have a great team. I have four wonderful women working in this department that also travel. And while the rodeos are amazing, I have a few key memories, and some people always ask, "What's your most favorite event?" And it's hard to nail down because everyone is so special in their own right, whether it's the setting, the location itself, or the hospitality area, or just how warm and welcoming the committee is, and what special programs we get to do together. It's really hard to pick.
Yeah.
But some of the events that are even more special because they're different. So
Mm-hmm.
Susan and Kelsey help on the premium side, which is our corporate events.
Yep.
So that stuff, like, we had the Lowe's department store,
Mm-hmm.
like, shopping
Home
experience there.
improvement. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
an amazing retreat for some of their top leaders. Who would have thought that they would be choosing buckles and jewelry for those folks? It's just really neat to do some outside the box stuff that is still rodeo related, because they see us at NFR, and they see us, at the quarter horse events or at big PBR events. So it's hard to nail down one specifically because we are everywhere. It's a
Yeah.
blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Speaking of everywhere,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a building in Vegas you can walk in or out of without seeing a Montana Silversmith something somewhere during the NFR. You, obviously, being the director of events, coordinate a whole lot of that, obviously, with a lot of the Montana Silversmiths internal marketing team and partners and that sort of thing. My goodness, can you talk about the Montana strategy of showing up at NFR? Because I don't know if there's anybody who covers it better than Montana.
We put on a lot of miles, Natalie.
Hmm.
Like,
I know
we're
you
not.
do. I've seen your color coordinated schedule.
That's right. And that's what I was going to say. The organ, and we're a well-oiled machine by now, having done this, for my 20 years. But speaking of, this is our 25th year with the PRCA.
Hmm.
So this is our, anniversary year of supplying buckles for that contract at the NFR. So heads up, we're going to be making an even bigger splash because of our campaign. And I can share a little
25
bit
years of
about.
champions, you know?
That's going to be close. The gold standard, 25 years of champion. So that's a really an overarching theme for us. And we really do try to be everywhere and be everything to everyone because we try to jam in as much as possible, but still being effective. Like we don't want
Hmm.
to, you know, have us just scattered, but we have a real strategic direction. And that happens from the day that we arrive.
Hmm.
And we color code our schedule. Our staff knows exactly where to be when. And we're pretty lean and mean. Like we have to handle a lot within the day. So
Yeah,
we start,
I'm
you know,
impressed with how much the size of your team, how much you guys are able to cover. And look fabulous and be happy and smiling everywhere you go. I don't know how much caffeine that takes, but it's
I
more
know.
than
I was
I
gonna say,
ingest.
I think it's just like adrenaline, like everyone who, comes to Vegas for NFR, you're just on adrenaline because you've worked so hard that you can still carry on even if you're on fumes because of just the energy, right? It's
Hmm.
electric. It's the culmination of everything that we've built and worked for and the champions deserve. And we just want to be such an amazing part of that. And we just play a little part of it, but we really celebrate that and you just keep going. And you don't
Hmm.
have downtime to even think about it. That's the thing. So you're up at 7, you're either working the booth, you're working PRCA convention, you're back and forth to banquets and functions and fashion shows. And
Rodeo
then we have.
committee meetings. Yep.
Yep. And then, of course, you have rodeo and then you have buckle ceremony. So we're 7 a.m. to, at the earliest, probably 11 o'clock, midnight. And then, then to your point, on the way walking down the hallway to South Point to your room, you're stopped 72 different times just for folks telling their story, sharing, a buckle or jewelry or, their story. And so you're just on 24/7. But that's
Yeah.
why we love it and why we can do it is because we do love it and just the energy is amazing. You just kind of feed off of each other. And we have a fantastic team, as I mentioned earlier, and we all know our responsibilities. We know where we need to be. We're all very scheduled and structured, and we do have a color coded schedule because there's, Cowboy Christmas is one schedule. We have to do PRCA conventions another schedule, obviously NFR, and then the meetings in between. And we try to just stay on task. We know what we need to do and put the hammer down and lock
Yeah.
in, and away we go.
So off the top of my head, two booths, right? One at convention, one at Cowboy Christmas. You guys do the buckle ceremony every night, Miss Rodeo America stuff,
Yes.
all of the awards ceremonies, the gala, the PRCA awards, all of those convention sort of things you guys are at. You guys are at the NFR at the rodeo, I think every night. You're definitely there around 10.
Mhm.
I mean, man, and then Montana's ancillary sponsorships too, like I've seen Montana show up in Old Town Vegas Strip, and I've seen, all over the South Point, Montana Silversmith shows up with all of the branding and all of the activations that are all over the South Point, and then various arenas and that sort of thing. It's just incredible, like the coverage that you guys really are able to achieve at NFR. Um, Obviously NFR is rodeo is a very large market for Montana silversmiths. That's pretty obvious. I think most people know that. But the cool thing that I think is that Montana Silversmiths does is that you guys reach outside of rodeo as well. So like everything from RMEF to AQHA partnerships to some of
Mhm.
your music partnerships that you've gotten into with Ian Munsick and others. Let's talk outside of rodeo. How does Montana strategically show up in places that are outside of rodeo? And what are some of your favorites, Callie?
Interesting. Well, I will say, in addition to my role in events, and strategically thinking about how we sell custom buckles and awards in the corporate space and partnership marketing. There's an entirely different side of us. I like to say we're kind of bipolar. We have buckles and so the bigger side that actually affords us the partnerships to do what we do in sponsorship is our jewelry. So
Hmm.
our 5,000 Western stores are also a key part of our entity in at NFR. So with Boot Barn and Cavender's and our large partnerships, and then all of our specialty stores too. So Capriola's, for
I was gonna
instance,
say Capriola is right next to you
yes,
at the Cowboy Christmas deal. Yep.
which we do plan that obviously on purpose because it's a great way to bounce customers off of each other. If we don't have a money clip that they're looking for, Capriola's has it, or vice versa.
Hmm.
So I will say that is the most amazing thing that kind of separates us from maybe the rest, is that we have such an awesome marketing tool in those display cases with our retailers, and that can afford us to do the sponsorships and be the authentic piece of the Western industry that we are. So, in addition to us working the booths at NFR, we bring in our sales reps to help staff those retailers. And that's really important to work for them, those 10 days at Cowboy Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's a key part of NFR, and of course throughout the year, wherever, those selling periods might be around gifting, and that location of the store and where our case sits, that's really important to our jewelry side of the business.
Yeah.
But on the non-Western side, you mentioned Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and that's near and dear to my heart because their headquarters are in Missoula,
Hmm.
Montana, so that I'm able to have a nice hands-on experience with them and walk through their programs together as we look forward to their banquet seasons. But we really are growing our promotional products and our corporate gifting, anniversary awards, employee recognition. There's a lot within the non-Western segment because of our Western exposure.
Hmm.
Like they love that we're involved with PBR and with rodeo and with AQHA, and they love being cowboys. So we've broken those down into obviously our core customer, our enthusiasts, and then our inspired group. And these are the
Hmm.
inspired because they've seen the show Yellowstone,
Hmm.
and they want to be a part of that and feel that. So we're really reaching out through a lot of our partnerships within the music industry too, because that's country, that's Western, those are the same type of folks, and those are our people that we want to cater to. And so I think when you visit with Marshall on our marketing side, he'll have a really amazing strategy to share with you in the direction that we're going. But right now, we really just leverage the Western partnerships to then put our feelers out with our PR firm so that we can expand into a non-Western market.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Callie, what do you think is your favorite part of your job? I have one other question other than this, but I think this might actually be that answer.
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one because I love being creative, and bridging the gap from sketch to shipment, I think is my favorite thing.
Mm,
Being the liaison and helping that customer bring their vision to life.
yeah,
And we do it every day. And that's as simple and as complicated as that.
yeah. I have one more question for you. It is sort of related, but um, you have some really great relationships with other women who run other partners or who are the representative of other partners of the PBR. Um, do you know where I'm going with this?
So,
Tell us what the name of your girl gang is,
oh my
and
gosh, I don't
tell.
know if I can we disclose this. I have to text the girls. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, it's so funny, Natalie. This is interesting you mentioned this because I don't know if you can see. For a little bit of a boost of courage and confidence today, I am wearing this specially made bracelet for our girl gang.
I love that.
And yep, and they are engraved with strength, loyalty, legacy, Western female mafia boss babe. and they each have our name.
I think it's the coolest
They have
thing.
it.
It's so much fun to see, all those partners. And I don't know if you want to disclose who all's in this girl gang, but it's pretty cool to watch you gals really kind of dominate the industry.
Oh,
PBR, it
no question.
seems like PBR, it
Yeah.
seems like it happens a lot because everybody's a partner there. But I see you guys in many places, of course. Not just PBR.
Oh, how funny. Yeah. It's, I mean, and it's a fellowship and it's, strong women and really we've grown up in this industry. And so having, our ties together and being able to come to those events and have a little reunion and just be ourselves.
Hmm.
There's a lot of pressure in the like the corporate world and being a woman and having kids and having your family and having to balance all of that. So we at least get to share that together, and then just yeah, it's nice that we can kind of just be a force out there and help. We have a junior mafia also, so we're helping the next generation.
Junior Mafia, I'm jealous. That's awesome. Um,
It's great. And it actually, how they all start, funny enough, it's late at night at the South Point, one evening, just talking about, some brainstorming ideas, and then it was born.
yeah, yeah. I feel like, having those partnerships and those friendships in the industry with other women is such a special thing. There's so many industries out there where that would just be a bunch of competition and there wouldn't be those sort of relationships built. But I think it's special to our industry. I think it speaks volumes about you and some of the other ladies that have been part of the female mafia that you guys have created. But I think that, what's really cool about that to me is just your ability to support each other, because on the road can be hard, corporate can be hard, travel can be hard, leaving family can be hard, and having people to work together with who are sort of in a similar situation and also support each other, I think that's pretty darn cool. And anyway, I just admire it. I think it's the coolest thing.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, what started as a group chat has evolved.
I love it.
That was really good.
Okay. So, two more questions. One, is there anything that you get asked on a frequent basis about Montana Silversmiths or about your position at Montana Silversmiths that you feel like is sort of a little known fact or maybe is not well known enough in the industry? What's something somebody should know about Montana?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one, Natalie. As far as we get a lot of, actually, this is probably the number one question that we get that I cannot answer is the value of the gold buckles.
Sure.
People, yep. And because it is fascinating and the process and because they are so world class and what that means to everybody. And they're priceless. The blood, sweat, and tears. And as much as those champions put in the work, it's the champions behind the champions and all of our folks that have a hand in building those, which is 25 different folks, to be honest
Mm-hmm.
with you. And so that we get a lot of questions about the value of those, and really it's in the eye of the beholder. We have value for insurance purposes, which is PRCA contract business, but folks really are fascinated by that buckle, and we try to do our best during NFR to showcase that so you can get up close and personal. But it's not something that there's only been several hundred in the last, because we do 11 buckles a year
Mm-hmm.
in the last 5 years for each champion. So they're so coveted and so special. But that's probably the number one question we get
Yeah.
is how it's made. What's the value of that
Yeah,
buckle?
I feel like the value of the buckle is more than just in the metal or the
Yeah,
stone setting
100%.
or the craftsmanship, right? Like the value of that buckle is really all the time that the Montana Silversmiths team puts into it, all the time the PRCA puts into it, all the time of all the PRCA committees who put together all the rodeos who make the circuit possible, and then you add in the athletes themselves and their families. Those buckles are pretty darn expensive. If you add it all up, if you really want to know what the value of getting one of those buckles is, it's much more than just a chunk of metal.
Yep.
It's
Well,
represents a lot more.
Exactly right. 100%.
Okay, last question. So these podcast episodes come out on Sundays. We refer to it as a soft launch to Monday, kind of playing off like a marketing soft launch sort of thing. We always ask people, what is your soft launch to Monday? And basically, some of the answers that we've gotten in the past, like for me personally, I like to go over the goals that we are currently working on at McFarland Productions, kind of checking on the progress. I usually do a little video recording of myself talking about the goals, the wins of the last week, what's kind of coming ahead in the next week. And we send that out to the team. As a fully remote company, that's a really important piece. We've had people say it's the day that I wash my hair, and reset myself and just get myself ready for the week. We've had lots of time with God is a really great one. Time on a horse is a really great one. But I guess what I'm saying is that your soft launch to Monday could be anything, but maybe it's not Sunday for you since you're at so many events. But what is your soft launch to Monday?
Oh, I love this question. And that is fascinating. And I'm so proud of you for being organized. And I want to take a page out of your book for that. I am not as well put together, apparently. I am a list maker. And so I make a to-do list that is a mess. But
That's
this is how I
perfect.
organize my thoughts.
It's beautiful.
Isn't that great?
It's beautiful.
It's chicken scratch, it's priority by A, B, and C, and really a deep breath. Yes, time on a horse is amazing, but a deep breath of don't overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
Not making a decision is making a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Go with your gut and move on. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things coming at us from every different direction. And really, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter as far as a long-term, project. So get in, get out, be confident in your decisions and just tackle it. And I know that's easier said than done, but that's what's worked for me just because of the experience and how long I've been doing it. I feel like it's still challenging, but I know what to expect. Every day is a little bit different, but the principles remain the same. Don't
Mm-hmm.
overthink it. Go with your gut. Make your lists, make a priority, and then just get it done.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think you got to kind of be, yes, think strategically, but be a taskmaster also, because God, it feels good to check stuff off the list.
Yes, it does. We use ClickUp
Do it.
internally for project
Oh,
management,
cool.
and my favorite thing about ClickUp is that it shows you like your stats for the week.
Oh,
I'm just like
right.
dedicated to those stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel good to
I
check
even
them off.
will like do something, write it down, and then cross it off if it wasn't on the list. I'm like, oh,
Yes,
successful
you're,
project
if it wasn't on the
today.
list, it doesn't count.
Yep.
I love that. Cool. Well, Callie, you are one of my favorite humans on the planet, and I am so, so, so thankful that you were able to take an hour to hang out with us and chat on McFarland Minutes. We will drop Callie's bio and info in the bottom of this, and anything else that we can help get people connected with you for NFR or otherwise, we can put that there in the comments as well, or in the show notes as well. But Callie, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything that you do for this industry. It is should be and is well recognized, at least by our team. And man, you're a powerhouse. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, you're fabulous as well, and we work very well together. And I'm just grateful to take a few minutes to just chat about some advice and our story in Montana. We love it. We're doing it here together, and you're awesome.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Callie.
Thanks.